Good morning, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Welcome to day one of me trying to live and train like a professional triathlete. Day one is kicking off with a steady run, and it's the same route, it's the same run that I've done for the last couple of weeks, just trying to build up my running endurance. One thing I'm really keen to not happen is get injured, so particularly the running is really going to take a steady ramp up rather than going so. Same pace I've really been doing, just trying to start, well, not start too strong and peak too early. I do that in too many areas of my life already, so let's not ruin this on day one. Can you see my influencer light ring in the glass? If so, I'm also a professional influencer now. The weather's actually looking okay. It was forecast to be raining, but overnight the forecast has changed as per normal, and it's looking like an alright day, so let's get out on the road. It's actually a gorgeous morning. I know the sun's behind that hill, but look at there, it's just beautiful. A little bit chilly, a little bit breezy. I'm not going to moan about it because this is awesome from mid-December. Hope it continues for the next 2 weeks. So, just going to try and put into perspective like the scale of this challenge for me. For those that don't watch the videos every day, I know people have actual lives to maintain and don't have all the time they want to watch me ramble on day in, day out. So for the last, well, weeks and weeks, I've trained between 10 and 11, 12 hours a week combined. Well, I haven't swam. Made up mainly of like between 7 and 9 hours of cycling and like between 3 and 5 hours of running, but more often than not 3 hours of running. So to go up to 25 hours of training, well, that's significant. Let's say there's 2 hours of swimming there, so 23 hours of running and biking, that's a lot. So I've got to be really careful, but also it's going to be hard. Like physically, I'm going to struggle to do this. I've done that similar volume a couple of times on training camps. So like we'll go to Mallorca normally in May, obviously not this year. And I think both, well, every year I've been, I've done between 25 and 30 hours of training for the week. But that's one off, that's 1 week. And you're on holiday. I've got absolutely no life admin. It's just wake up, train, eat, sleep, socialise, repeat, you know. Whereas now, yes, I'm off work for a couple of weeks, but I'm still going to have some elements of life things to do, which I'm going to take you along on. But that's probably the life of a pro triathlete, isn't it? Yes, they're pros, but they've still got stuff to do. As I was reminded recently, even pros have to wash the pots. So yeah, hopefully this is going to be an interesting test. I just wanted to put it out there, you know, I'm a mid-pack age grouper, probably the best description. I'm in no way elite. I'm in no way used to that volume of training. So this is going to be hard. Anyway, I'm like 3.5 miles in, just running nice and steady. About 6 to go. So there wasn't really much else to report there. 1 hour and 20 minutes, 9.07 miles, 8 minutes 49 per mile and 133 beats a minute. So pretty nice run. Probably a little bit faster than I'd liked, but I did have a rest day yesterday, so I feel a bit fresher. I think now more than ever, warm up and warm down is so important. So I'm just walking the last like quarter of a mile or so just to stretch the legs out a little bit, lower the heart rate before actually stopping. This was actually a fasted run this morning as well. 2 schools of thought, one of which burned a bit of fat. Apparently that does it. And second is just enables me to be a bit more time efficient. So I haven't got to get up, have breakfast, wait for toilet things to happen and then run. I can just get up, brush my teeth, whatever, run. So that's that. So it's about 10:15 now. I'm going to have a breakfast and then I'm going to leave it a few hours before the next session because I'm a pro. I've got all day. So a couple of hours has passed, I've had breakfast, had a sit down, kept my legs elevated, cos pro. If I'm gonna absolutely nail all this training volume, I've got to be on top of all these little life processes, so like washing, etc. The amount of clothes I'm gonna go through in this couple of weeks is gonna be horrendous. So I need to keep on top of the washing, because that's gonna be an issue. Another thing I'm gonna try and do is, try to do it anyway, daytime napping. This guy's setting the example. Well done, good work, great recovery. I'm definitely going to integrate a daytime nap into my routine. I generally try and nap at the weekends anyway, don't hate me, but I'm going to try and do it every day. So maybe not today. I had a good sleep last night and today is day one. I'm easing myself in, so maybe not today, but ongoing. Taking a short break from resting like a pro. Hi Liz.
Hi.
How's your run?
Good, thank you.
Can you engage with the camera please? You have to give eye contact so people feel that they're engaged. There you go, do you feel engaged?
Yeah.
Where you been? How far you been? What you done? That's disgusting. They are not coming in the house.
I've been on an adventure.
Oh yeah.
10k off-road adventure.
Excellent.
Every time I got to a yellow footpath sign, I just decided where I was going to go at that point.
You are absolutely wild. It's great to see you rocking all the fashion. Okay, well anyway, it's my lunchtime.
It was so wet and muddy. My socks are wet through, look. Rupert.
It's my lunchtime and I'm a pro, so can you sort it out?
Wet through.
Oh.
You would have hated it. You would have fell over.
Stop it! Okay, so good afternoon. It is 2:10. I've sort of half deliberately left it until this time. Half of it I enjoy just sitting down for a little while and catching up on the world before going straight into another session. And this is quite a decent bike session, so I didn't want to go into it straight off of a run when I have got all day because I'm a pro. I need to give myself the best chance of completing it, don't I? So let's go. Let's have a look at it. So this has also been set by my coach James. He has put in there, do not include a cafe stop. Bit negative. Anyway, warm up. 2 times 20 minutes tempo, and then we've got 6 times 2 minutes, like half. That's like 400 watts. With I think it's 4 minutes recovery in between at top end zone 2. So you go in like 2 tempo blocks, getting your working heart rate up. Then some hard efforts with some not easy recoveries, and then still keeping it top end zone 2 into a 20-minute sweet spot block. That is a big effort, and then an hour of zone 2 afterwards, and then a warm down. So 3.5 hours in total. I'm not going to use erg mode. I'm going to use gears just so I can make sure I'm doing exactly the right power and the right cadence and so on. I know erg mode lets you select your cadence for the right power, but with the power smoothing thing on, I'm not sure how that works with those real short, sharp intervals. I don't know. I know what gears do. I know how to work it. I need less variables happening. I will test erg mode a bit more in a different workout. I will drop this threshold down to 3.5. That was like halfway between the 2 tests I did the other day. There's no point in me going too hard today and failing to complete workouts in the coming days. This is going to be a hard workout anyway. I don't need to make it any harder. So let's get going. So I'm doing all the intervals in TT position, but I'm sitting up for the recoveries. It's just it's about an hour and 10, an hour and 15 of intervals. So that's plenty to be doing in TT position. I need to really factor in, like, as bad as it sounds, like my undercarriage. Like if I get a saddle sore day 1 or 2, it's going to really hamper me training for 25 hours a week. So I know that in row position I'm a lot comfier, so I'm just going to mix it in and blend in the TT position training as we go through the couple of weeks. I've done the 2 times 20 minutes tempo. That was all right. Just settling into it. Now coming up to the 6 times 2 minutes hard off of 4 minutes top end zone 2 recoveries. This is hard. This is the first time I've done an interval session after my long run on a Saturday. I normally either just do an hour easy spin or ride out with Liz or something, or nothing. So it's a bit of a shock to the system. In terms of fueling, I've got a bottle of carb mix, High Five carb mix on the bike. I've only had a couple of swallows of that because, to be honest, it's quite cold outside and I keep needing a wee. I've already been once. Can't keep going for toilet breaks. And I've had half a Cliff Bar, which I'll finish off before the hard intervals in a minute. I've got like an OTE gel and a couple of gels to hand in case I need it. But this is a bit like testing because I haven't done sessions long enough where I've needed to fuel like this for a long time. So learning as we go. Anyway, let's continue. Just give you a quick status update. I'm 1 hour and 35 in. I've done 4 of the 6. Sort of VO2 max. Big gear efforts actually, I didn't realise that. It's hard. I've just had the OTE gel, that's 40 grams of carbs. Just watching Chris Hall's Project 107 TDF. If I think I'm suffering now, check that video out. He's actually suffering. This is just intervals and stuff. This is easy in comparison. So 2 more of the big gear, 2 minute efforts to do. 10 minute zone 2, then 20 minute sweet spot. And then if I get that done, I'm pretty much done. I've just got an hour and 10 of zone 2 and then 10 minutes warm down. So I feel like I'll get through the sweet spot. All I've got to do is an hour in zone 2. So it's getting hard, man. This is day 1. Long way to go. Oh man, that was absolutely brutal. So I have pulled the pin early on the session. I tried to front load the weekend and the week a little bit, thinking I'd be fresh at the beginning and get an hour or 2 in the bank, but I just haven't got it. My legs are absolutely sizzled. So I'm going to pull the pin at 2 hours 40. I've done all the efforts, just not doing the 1 hour zone 2 at the end. That will take me up to 4 hours training for the day. I think that's a solid start. I don't need to be above that really. If I'm going to have 1 clear rest day, don't test me on maths, 6, 12, 24 hours in a week, isn't it? 4 hours in a day. Whew. Yeah, this is hard. Maybe I've underestimated this, I don't know. But I've done a lot of hard things in my life, giggity. So, this is just another one of them. Now, I'll shortly cut to me talking about the topic that's probably in the title of today's video. I recorded it pre this session, but I'm actually talking as if it's after this session, just trying to manage how much time I'm spending talking and training, etc. So, at the end of that video, I say, day 1 done, not too hard, we'll see what the other day's got to bring. I'd like to change that statement. Day 1's hard. But anyway, let's cut to me talking about today's discussion topic, weight. See you in the living room. Okay, so with training done and dusted for the day, it's now story time or discussion time. So today's discussion is going to be about weight, more specifically, my weight, my struggles over the years, my weight now, my weight in the future, etc. Now, I've had to think long and hard about talking about this topic because I know for a lot of people, weight is a big thing. You might have had your own struggles with weight. You might be struggling with weight now, or diet, or exercise, or any of those things. So I just want to preface all of this by saying this relates to me. What I weigh is what I weigh. It doesn't matter if you're more or less than that. You don't need to use me as a barometer of, well, he weighs this, therefore I need to weigh that. You just need to, do what's right for you. I thought it might help if I give a bit of background, first of all, about my weight journey, about my struggles with weight in the past and so on. I do want to do a separate weight loss journey video. Now's not the time. I hope to do it at some point next year. So I'm going to not go into too much detail today, but enough to sort of create the discussion point. So in my early, probably like, I don't know, age 10 to 12, early teens perhaps, I was overweight. I wasn't a fit young lad. I was, the chubby boy in class. I didn't have any like physical hobbies really, didn't really do anything active. My family also, weren't physically active really. So that sort of led to me being a bit overweight. When I got into my early teens, I'm going to have to check with mum and dad to find out exactly when this was. But my dad basically started running. He was an ex-smoker. He was your classic middle-aged man, liked to go into the pub, eating pizza with his mates, etc., etc. Started running. He joined the local running club, which was Mansfield Harriers, which I've recently ran for in the last couple of years. And he basically joined the club. Now, of course, having me, I was, 12, 13, my sister a little bit younger, he's looking after me. I'm his responsibility. So if he's going to running club, well, he's probably going to take me with him. So he ended up taking myself and my sister with him to running club. Now, that meant that over the next few years, I became a runner. So I lost a lot of weight through that, through being a bit more active. The social circle then became the running club. We go on trips at weekends to track meets and stuff. And I became actually, half decent at running. That is also actually where I met Hannah, who I ran with a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen the video, I'll forget to link it. It's waste time me saying I'm going to. We ran a marathon a few weeks ago together, basically. I had a paper round, I was in a cross-country cross-country team at school. So I basically became an active child and was reasonably fit and well. When I was 18 or so, my life changed in that I finished sixth form. I decided not to go to university, so my studies my school-based studies sort of ended. My parents separated, and along with that, I lost the drive to really be active and to run and to compete and all that sort of stuff. It wasn't their fault. I was 18 years old. I'm old enough to make those decisions myself, but I just didn't prioritise that high enough and didn't continue. Coupled with that, obviously, when you're 18, you can legally drink in the UK. So I've been out in town before then, but legally started going out with my mates and stuff. A lot of my friends are at uni, so I spent time going to see them at uni, and that involves going out on a Tuesday night and whatever else. So my life quickly spiraled into I'm not going to say unhappy, so I was very happy, an unhealthy spiral. Like I was having a great time, but actually it was not good for me at all because I'm just eating takeaways, I'm getting drunk, etc., snacking. It just wasn't good. Then when I was around 20 or 21, actually, as you progress through the career ladder in life, your jobs change, don't they? So I moved into an office-based role, which was great, but it meant that I'd gone from working on a shop floor to being sedentary, so sitting on my bottom all day. And that, coupled with this lifestyle that I'd adopted, I joined the Young Farmers. Those guys like a drink. And it just meant that within a couple of years, my weight ballooned like massively. So to give you some sort of context, I'm probably dropping pictures on the screen as I'm talking about this as I go through. My weight peaked, and I use peak as in the highest weight. That was certainly not a peak for me, up to 20 stone in, I think it was 2013. So that's 127 kilos. I was a 40-inch waist, and although, as I said, I was happy, I was quickly becoming unhappy. Like that wasn't sustainable, and that was only going to get worse. It was, it wasn't great. So I think at some point in 2013 or 2014, I thought, right, I need to get fit. This isn't good enough. I used to be an athlete, and now I'm obese, probably, factually, I'm probably actually obese. I need to do something about it. So I thought, what do I know? Okay, well, I know how to run. So I started running, struggled a little bit, struggled a lot with, I'm 20 stone, I'm trying to run, like my knees hurt, shin splints, hips hurt, everything hurts, feet hurt, because I just wasn't built to run or run very far. The best thing I did was I joined the local running club, which was No Extra Riders. We did a couch to 5K program. got regular training in with them. I'm going to focus on the weight specifically rather than all the training. And basically my weight started to drop. I then, I'm getting sick of getting injured all the time. I feel like I take several steps forward and I'd take several steps back when I got injured. So that's when I started cycling and running. So again, I'd love to focus on the cycling and running because that's how I found triathlon, but this video is just about the weight really. So that then enabled me to continue this weight loss journey, even if I was injured from running or not. So 2015, Liz and I moved to Norfolk. That meant that we lived for the first time together. We had our own house, joined the local running club, continued that weight loss journey, met some incredible people, triathletes, runners, cyclists, and so on. And basically, over the next few years, lost weight. Our social circles became our exercise circles. So therefore, instead of meeting up with your mates for a few pints, you're meeting up with your mates for a run in the forest. So it just became the way of life. And I actually dropped a lot of weight. In 2018, I feel like I really nailed it. So I started eating a plant-based diet. I'm not going to go on about it, don't worry. Just did my first Ironman, so I was training like hell for that. And I actually got down to 79 kilos. I was half focused on an event in the Alps, which is a 7-day cycling stage race, the Hort route. Riding uphill, it's all about power to weight. So I basically tried to get, pretty much as light as I could and got down to 79 kilos. I wasn't ripped, I didn't have abs, but I felt like that was pretty much like the limit of how I could be healthy, but light at the same time. Now, 2019, I carried that through into 2019. I was like 81 kilos, had a great season of racing, had a great race at Outlaw Half, did 4:39 for a half Ironman. What else I did in 2019? Did Ironman Wales. I think I'd risen to like 82 kilos at that point, but I wasn't going to worry about it. I felt like around there, I was healthy. I'd performed reasonably well for the ability I've got, and that was okay. 2020 rolls around. We all know what happened at the beginning of this year, don't we? I was in a similar situation. I was reasonably fit, not overweight, not absolutely race lean, but that's sort of how I tend to live. Lockdown came in March in the UK, as I'm sure it has for a lot of other people. Now, this is a massive first world problem because people have lost jobs, people have lost lives. Me having to work from home is actually great that I've been able to maintain a job throughout this time, and I really, really do appreciate it. But it has meant that I'm sat down again all the time. I worked in an office where we were all quite active. So a lot of people who were runners, cyclists, swimmers, tennis players, volleyball players, all these different things, which meant that 3 or 4 times a week I was running at lunchtime, or we're doing stuff before or after work. And to remove that really changed my way of life. And I know you guys still see my training week in, week out and day in, day out now. And you think, oh, this guy does a lot of training. And I might do between 10 and 12 hours of training a week. But other than that, I'm actually very inactive. So what that meant was, along with my poor diet, and I'll come to this in a second, my weight just started climbing. And for the last month or two, I haven't really tracked it. And I have done this morning. And that's why I'm here now talking about it, because it's not good enough. So my diet, I've never really been super strict. I've always struggled with moderation. So if you gave me a chocolate bar, I'd eat it all. A bag of crisps, I'd eat more, etc. I could never have like 1 or 2 of something. So when I turned plant-based, that really helped me lose weight, because instead of saying, here's a bar of dairy milk, other brands are available, and I'm going to eat it all, I'd have none of it, because I'm saying I'm not eating dairy, so therefore I'm not going to have any of it. And that I found was easier than trying to restrict some of it. So as a result, that then enabled me to stay relatively light without actually having to feel like I'm dieting. There's just some things that I don't have. As a couple of years has passed, veganism is like rocket. It's really fashionable. There's now as much vegan junk food as there is normal junk food, and I'm a sucker for it. So I'll sit at home and I'll eat crisps, chocolate, sweets, etc. All plant-based still, but it's still really bad for you. Loads of processed stuff, and I'll eat at the wrong times of day. Like last night, so as like a last supper before this project, I had a Domino's at like 6 p.m, so a big pizza, and then about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I'm eating a bowl of cereal. Why am I eating a bowl? I've not trained all day. Why am I eating that late at night after having had a big meal? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But at the time, I didn't have that resolve to say, no, Daniel, don't do that, whereas now I know I need to. So, as I said, I've monitored my weight throughout this year. I'm going to talk about what I weigh in a second. But the point of this video is to say, this is where I'm at. I'm not happy with it, but it's okay, like where you're at. If you're not happy with it as well, that's fine to not be happy with it, but just do the right things to resolve it. So rather than focusing on the weight, I'm going to focus on cleaning up my diet, not eating these bad foods, not eating at the wrong times. The weight will come as a byproduct. If you're a triathlete, if you're a runner or a cyclist watching this, you know that you can get away with having a little bit of a poorer diet because you're going to exercise as well. You can't out-train a bad diet, I agree with that. However, to a certain extent, like you can half get away with not being super, super strict. So this morning I weighed myself and I was 91 kilos. I'll put it on screen tomorrow now. 91 kilos. And I feel a bit ashamed saying this now. I feel like I'm owning up to something. I feel like as a triathlete on YouTube, I should always be in super form, but that's just not reality. So if I compare that to the beginning of this year, I was 82 kilos at the beginning of this year. So that's 9 kilos. Now, that's not an amount of weight that is impossible to lose. However, when I look at things like, okay, I've got a half marathon in 14 weeks, that's like half a kilo a week, or just over half a kilo a week I've got to lose consistently if I'm going to get down to my previous weight for that race. So I've really got to pull my socks up, and it feels like when I'm training, it's a waste of time, because I think, well, what's the point in me doing this cycling, this running, if I'm just going to put loads of weight on, and as a result, like recently, you'll have seen I went out with a gentleman called David, who's a subscriber, obviously lives local to me now, and hoping to get out for more bike rides in the future. I've been out with him and he was dropping me up hills. Like, I'm training my arse off, and he is as well, but he's dropping me, and that just gave me a bit of a reality check, and thank you for that. I think if I'm going to do it, I need to do it properly. Like, it's a waste of time just doing it half-heartedly, because these numbers where you do intervals of things look okay, but in the real world, sometimes weight actually matters. So definitely something to think about. Food for thought, pardon the pun. So this 16-day project, I'm hoping to kickstart better eating habits. I'm going to be working with a nutritionist. I'm going to share details of her and her program in the coming days when I actually get around to putting it together, so that I can sort myself out and put myself in the best chance of having good performances at races next year, because that is my aim. So that's it. I think that's about it. That's my little story about weight. If you've got any questions or anything, or you'd like to share your story or anything, if I tell you what, if you'd like to share your story about weight loss or weight in general, either drop me a comment down below or slide in my Instagram DMs, or drop me an email. I would love to at some point have people on here to share their journeys, people who've been successful, perhaps people who haven't, and just, because everybody will get some benefit from somebody. But I think that's about it for today. So thank you very much for watching. If you've got any ideas about what topics you'd like me to cover in the next few weeks in this sort of format, 8 to 10 minutes maximum, I'm either responding to a question or talking about a topic or telling you something about me, please do let me know down below. I'll be very interested here, because I haven't got 16 ideas. So yeah, there we go. And that sort of gives you the overarching reason as to why I'm trying to kickstart myself with a 2-week intense training block where I'm focusing on everything I can to be the happiest and healthiest I can. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button down below. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Tell a friend, subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow at 4 PM for day 2 of Train Like a Pro. Today's been all right. Tomorrow's going to be a bit harder.